Hello humans, welcome to a new video to my channel. Ever wonder if you can do Netracells runs with ease of mind and energy? Well, I have quite the solution for you, even though this solution may not be attainable for a lot of people, so I'm sorry for that. Today, I'm coming for you with a very interesting and kind of long video. It's gonna be the longest video on my channel, I'm very sure. This video is going to be showcasing how I run Netracells solo with Styanax, and I do one run with Styanax in around 7 to 9 minutes depending on my luck. Netracells are a cute addition to the game in my opinion, and they have some interesting conditions to them. I enjoy doing them, but sometimes I just don't feel like partying up with people and getting into a group and doing it. And the people can potentially slow it down sometimes if they don't know how to do the mission, because they don't know how the spawns work in the game. So I have been on my own seeing different ways of doing it solo, and it has been working out in my favor. And I got to this solution. But before we start, let's talk about what are Netracells. What are Netracells, you may ask? Well, this video isn't supposed to be a detailed video about Netracells, but I'll give brief descriptions about it. Netracells are a hard mission in the game that you can do 5 times a week for good rewards, minus the adapters in the common and uncommon arcanes. You can end up getting both normal and Tauforged Archon shards from it, and the legendary melee arcanes. As mentioned earlier, you can only do it 5 times a week, hence your rewards are quite limited. Netracells are generally hard-ish missions. They have a high level of enemies, and they have modifiers and debuffs added onto you. The debuffs are generally added onto the people doing the mission using the mechanic of key glyphs. What are key glyphs, you may ask? Well, you need key glyphs to open the Netracell vault itself, and each mission requires you to pick each of the 4 offered keys at the beginning of the mission. You cannot miss any. You have to pick at least one of them for each person in the party, or one person can just pick all of them. So one person can pick more than one person can pick none, but the whole team has to have all 4 at least picked up once before the mission can start. These key glyphs act as modifiers. They generally act as debuffs for whoever is carrying them. And here is where you may wonder, if you're doing it solo, like in my case, do you pick up all 4 key glyphs? Yes you do. You pick all of the 4 of them and you get the debuffs of all 4 of them. But other than that, Netracell's missions are quite straightforward. First, you'll start, pick up the key glyphs, all 4, and then you'll be able to hack the console to start the mission. Once the mission starts, your objective is to find the Netracell's vault. You will be given a search radius to go through, but the search radius is so huge. But there is an easy way to get to the vault itself. You have to hack the consoles that the mission gives you as an optional objective. There are 3 consoles to hack. Each one you hack will reduce the search radius. And once you get to the last console, the 3rd one, and you hack it, it will show you the exact location of the vault. Once you reach the vault, one of the 4 key glyphs will be able to open said vault. So the person affected by it has to come and interact with it. Since I'm doing it solo and I'm carrying all 4 key glyphs, I'm the person that has to open it, which makes it quite straightforward. I don't have to wait for anyone to come to do it, I can just do it myself. So after you try to open it, it won't actually open it, and it will tell you to go kill some enemies to lower the security level so that it can be opened. And this is where the longest part of the mission generally is. You have to stand in a circle and you have to kill the enemies. You have to kill the enemies inside the circle. You can be outside the circle while killing the enemies inside, but the enemies that die have to be inside the circle. And killing them inside the circle will reduce the percentage. After you kill the enemies to about 1/3 of the way through the percentage, so around like 67%, it will change the objective for you and make you go find the Netracite to kill. The Netracite will stop progress of the percentage decreasing no matter how many enemies you kill, so you'll have to go kill it, find it and kill it, and then come back. AoE attacks help a lot in this phase because sometimes the Netracite can be hidden, but AoE sometimes can ignore walls, so it can help you in that. But after a while of doing the missions, you'll get used to where the Netracite spawns, so you don't even need AoE weapons after that. Once you get to know where they spawn, you'll know where they spawn later on. It becomes easier for you. After you kill the Netracite, you'll go back to killing inside the circle again for another 33%-ish. It's not exactly 33%, sometimes less, sometimes more. Then another Netracite will spawn. You'll do the same thing by killing it, and then you'll go back and kill more enemies until it reaches 0%. Once the percentage is done, you can open the vault. And once you open the vault, you destroy everything inside, you collect everything, and you get your reward. And then you extract and see what luck has brought you. And that's Netracells for you. I know it's quite a bit, but this is just a brief summary of it. So if you want the potential rewards of getting Archon shards and the rare legendary melee arcanes, you have to do 5 runs each week. You cannot skip any of them because that's a potential reward that's lost. You have to be able to survive through it. And the mission is harder than normal and comes also with the fact that it is like the Steel Path where you have restricted consumables. There's also no respawns allowed, similar to Archon hunts. So you have to be careful not to die or else poof, your rewards are gone. So let's say you want to do this solo. Then you'll need good survivability and good damage to kill the enemies inside the circle, and some form of maneuverability to go around the map quick so you can hack the consoles quicker. So I cover my survivability with my Styanax and his overguard. I cover the damage with Styanax's abilities and my weapon. And as for the maneuverability, well, I use my operator / drifter to zoom around a map. It's not the fastest, but it works. It's fast enough for me. One annoying thing about using the operator and drifter for movement is it's sometimes clunky in the tile set. Sometimes it grabs onto ledges that you don't want, or it grabs into corners, and it's quite frustrating. But, you know, take your time with it. Take it as if it's a marathon, not a race, and eventually you'll get the timing correct. And after doing the map 20 plus times, you'll get used to some of the layouts, and more you'll get more and more adapted to the layout, and it will be quicker to go through. Using the operator and drifter for movement also requires that you kind of max your energy and energy regen department, because if you don't have that maxed, you may have a harder time. But you do you at your own risk. If it works for you, it works. So that's about the Netracells themselves. Let's delve slightly deeper into the mechanics of what I'm doing in this mission with my gear. So, I start the mission and pick the key glyphs. The key glyph debuffs can be quite deadly and annoying, or both, and hence having a survivable frame like Styanax is very helpful. So you'll only have to worry about the debuffs, not the deadly debuffs. So I'll hack the console and enter the mission. I'll first cast my 4th ability really quickly so I can gain some overguard. There's generally enemies at the beginning of the mission, so you will generally get the overguard up pretty quickly. After doing that, I'll go into my drifter and I'll start my journey to the 3 consoles. I'll hack one, and then the other, and then the 3rd. And then voila, I know where the Netracell vault is. This part is where you can save some time. If you manage to do your maneuverability things really quickly, you'll save a lot of time. So try your best here, and eventually you'll be able to do it really quickly. I'll go try to open the vault, and then it will tell me kill, and then I'll start killing. Then when the mission tells me to go destroy the Netracites, I will go and destroy the Netracites, and then go back to killing. After killing some more, I go kill the Netracite again for the 2nd time, and then I go back to killing for the 3rd time and final time. And once it reaches 0%, voila, we're done. Now, you may be wondering, wouldn't this be faster in a team? Yes, honey, it will. If you have a good team, you can even speed this up even more. If you have like a Speed Nova, a Killing Machine, a person that has good maneuverability like a Titania, and a support frame, and all of you do your roles properly and cooperate well and stay inside the circle at the end for killing, you will have a very good composition for doing this mission really quickly. But that's the thing, all of you have to be in on it, and all of you have to be good, and all of you have to survive. And that's the annoying part, to be honest, because when you're doing this in something like public lobbies, not everyone is quick enough to go to the objectives. Some people are extremely slow, some people don't kill inside the circle, some people kill outside. It's very full of variables you cannot control. If you have your friends and you can do it with them, I recommend doing that, because that's what I do when my friends are online and they want to do it. But since I live in a different region of the world, I often have to do it on my own. There's also another problem that I try to fix, which is my internet issues. So that's why I do it solo, because my ping is generally very trash and I don't have a fun time when dying, and having no respawns is very deadly in a mission like this. But with my experience in public lobbies, it often would take 10 minutes, and because I realized I can do it faster on my own, that's why I generally do it on my own. If it was around the same time, if it was like 8 to 9 minutes doing it in public lobbies, I would still be doing it in public lobbies, because also having teammates helps you when you cannot respawn, because they can help you respawn. But if you have a team that's efficient, do it with them. It will be really quick if all of you are in together on it and all of you cooperate well together. And if you're doing it with a team, make sure that you and your team are all survivable in the mission. You don't want to die too often, because that slows down the mission. So if you got the facilities to do it solo, just do it solo if you're not having a fun time doing it in public lobbies. No one will really stop you. It's all about having fun in the game after all. And if you're not having fun doing it, just do not do it. It helps a lot having that mindset in a game like this. So now let's talk about the frame that I am using. I'm using Styanax. Styanax is very easy to use. He has decent survivability and utility. He is awesome, easy to use, and straightforward. I mainly use him for the energy, shields, and overguard utility. With his fourth ability, he can dish out some decent damage and gain overguard, granting him survivability. The third ability grants him energy and overshields. All in all, a great frame to have as support, and is very survivable. I have Nourish as his first ability because it helps with the energy economy and makes him never run out of energy. So he'll never have energy issues unless you forgot to cast his 1 and 3. His Augment Intrepid Stand is of course mandatory, because without it you wouldn't be able to have the overguard. There are some shield gating builds for Styanax. I just never dabbled with them. I'm more comfortable using the overguard augment. Now for the damage dealing front. We covered the survivability, so now let's see how we kill the enemies, because there's a big portion of the mission where you just have to kill enemies. So mainly I use my weapon to kill enemies, the Torrid, but I also use Styanax's fourth to do damage. But I mainly focus on the weapon, as I said. I use the Torrid Incarnon because it's very fun to use, it's very easy to use. You can also use just anything you want, to be honest. I just prefer the Torrid Incarnon right now. And I also dabble with the Latron Incarnon. But the build on the Torrid is quite simple. It's simply a corrosive radiation build that just does a lot of crits and a lot of damage. You could make it even more efficient by adding the Bane mod, and I'm just too lazy to do that, so I didn't do that. But it's not the best build out there. You can just make it better. So I'll sum it up really nicely. You can use whatever weapon you want, whether that's melee, primary, or secondary. As long as you can kill enemies in the circle, that is, it works well, then that's all good. You can just use it. So find a weapon that you like if you're not using your frame to kill enemies, and just kill enemies with it, and that's it. So that's pretty much it for the setup. Your pet can be whatever. I generally do not care. I use my Smita because I love my Smita, my lovely cat. And my secondary is the Epitaph. I use it just to slow down enemies if I ever need to, but I don't use it that much. And my melee is the Glaive Prime, just in case I need to use it. So that's pretty much it. I will go over a few random things now to finish off the explanation segment. So, in the mission there are these necromechs that spawn in the middle of the mission and can be quite tough and annoying. First tip, destroy their gun as fast as you can. You don't want them to be able to shoot you from afar, you want them to only be able to melee you. Because when they do that, you can just evade them. And then once you destroy their gun, killing them is quite easy. They may just take some time, but you can just kill them quite easily, no worries. I also have to iterate again. Please kill the enemies inside the circle, not outside. Any kills outside the circle are a waste of time. I would recommend trying to find positions to funnel enemies to you, but that's up to you really. As long as you kill enemies inside the circle, no one can tell you what to do. Finding the Netracells can be quite annoying. I use Styanax's fourth ability because each spear hit has an AoE that spreads the damage, and it covers it well enough, but AoE weapons in general may shine early on if you don't know where the Netracells spawns. But after a while of doing the missions, you will learn to memorize their potential locations. The Murmurs are interesting enemies. Be careful of their little quirks and conditions to be able to kill them, and just be mindful of your surroundings and your abilities, and of course your health. You don't want to be caught lacking and dying in the middle of the mission. It's always not nice to have that happen to you.
you're far beyond my reach. I can't afford what you've been asking for, so maybe I should leave. And I don't really like that. No, I don't really like the way you feel. I just need my life back. I just need someone real. And I don't really like that. No, I don't really like the way you feel. I just need my life back. I just need someone real.
So that's all. These are the builds that I utilized in this video. I did the 3 runs back to back, as you saw. There's no cuts. It's the same build of Styanax as I used in the video that I made on him, and it will be available in the cards on the video. But it is quite simple. I just have some strength, duration, and range, and I don't have that much efficiency because I can regenerate my energy. The Torrid build is, as I discussed earlier, corrosive radiation, crits and everything. It ain't the best build out there, but you make do with what you have, innit? And the Epitaph is a potential primer, but I don't really use it often, except to proc cold on enemies to slow them down, or break things, or find the Netracells. And lastly, the Glaive Prime is just there in case I need to use it to kill something that's annoying me. But I don't use it much either. I just mainly use the Torrid and Styanax to finish the mission. So that is all for my video, my little fellas. Netracells are an interesting aspect of the game, and I'm excited to see the rewards being reworked and buffed, because they really need it. But until then, we make do with what we have. This has been it for me, doing solo Netracells missions in under 9 minutes, or less, using Styanax. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Do ask any questions down in the comment section if you have any. I'll be answering all of them. Like the video if you liked it, and drop a sub if you will. I'll be greatly appreciated. And thanks a lot for watching, and bye bye.